alignment. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but we are freaking giddy as ever over here. We have some big news, some exciting news. We have some things for you to look forward to, I think. And I just feel like I am living in the land of freaking unicorns and candy colored streets because I'm just excited. And so is Josie right now.
So, you guys, Chasing Alignment started as a passion project for us. It's this opportunity to have these conversations that we weren't feeling like we're out there. And we want you to know we're all thinking it. We're not alone, from health to mental health to money to all the shit we talk about.
Mhm.
And you guys, we officially have our first sponsor. And we want to really point out that we weren't really actively looking for sponsors because we want to make sure that we really align with different companies that would approach us. And we have this opportunity over the next month to just share a amazing product that we are both falling in love with or been in love with, and it is with the company Organifi.
Yes, y'all. I got introduced to Organifi when I lived in the van in San Diego. I went to an event and got to just connect with these amazing human beings who work over at Organifi and got introduced to these plant-based superfood, just amazing products that go anywhere from your green juice, which is all about relaxing and resetting. And for someone that doesn't eat their greens, I prefer drinking them and they taste really good, to hormone health and protein. And literally, they're just so amazing. I've been obsessed for years now. So having the opportunity for Josie and I and Chasing Alignment as a whole to work with them is just like a dream come true. Oh, Josie, what's your favorite right now?
So I am big with the Harmony. So it's basically like a cacao blend, but it's really good for female hormone health. And what I do at night is I'm like a sweet tooth person in the evening. So I take a scoop of that with oat milk and I basically make this little hot chocolate essentially, and it is so good. And I just feel like it puts me in like this really good state to like go to bed and be kind of cozy, and it's really satisfying me. And also I love the pure, and that is basically, it tastes like a lemonade, and I put it in into my water in the morning, and I'm like, wow, it just kind of helps give you a little added boost for mental clarity and whatnot. But I'm big into those too.
Heck yeah. So stick with us because we're going to keep sharing how great Organifi is. We're going to keep telling you and showing you and teaching you how to use these products. So also check us out on Instagram because we'll be sharing more there and you can visually see everything. And me drinking my green juice in the morning. But the cool part for y'all is if you go to www.organifi.com/chasing alignment or use Chasing Alignment as the code when you are checking out, you get 20% off your entire order, not just one product, your entire order, you guys. So seriously, head over there, check it out, ask questions about it. If you have any questions, we literally have everything right now to try and experiment with, and it's so good. So we would love if you checked it out.
Yeah, I think the biggest part that we do want to just plug is that we support this product and we're going to talk about it because we want you to like taste it and try it and whatnot, but we're not going to be gross about it. Okay.
Yeah,
Because we're not gross.
we're not gross. You're not gross. We love you guys. And yeah, so let's get into our episode today, which actually is just very good because it's about our health.
Yeah, it's a
And
perfect segue.
perfect freaking segue. This is all about taking care of your body versus just moving your body and the misconceptions that come with just because you're working out and doing really hard workouts and waking up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym and eating really healthy, that doesn't necessarily translate and mean that you are completely taking care of your body. It actually might be hurting you, point blank.
Mhm. Yeah, our diet culture and just the overall, I want to say, like, within social media, it's very glamorized to be getting up early, to pushing your body to the max, to doing the intense workouts, to constantly wanting to PR, all this stuff. And I know we've talked about it in the past, but exercise is a stressor. And if you are stressing an overstressed system,
Mhm.
that can be a very, very hard thing on your body, and it's a hard thing to come back from. And I've actually had like some clients and whatnot deal with adrenal fatigue and whatnot because they push their body so hard that it takes a while for your body to rest and recharge enough to come back from it. And so we just want to bring it to the party that one of the biggest things you need to do is actually feel your body. Like, ooh, maybe like my left quad is hurting a little bit. Maybe I should kind of like hold off from doing this, maybe add a little bit more recovery, try and find a Theragun, XYZ, instead of being like, I'm going to push through it. I'm going to push through it, because that can hurt you in the long run.
Yeah, this has been like really heavy on my heart at the beginning of this year, but I feel like I'm like getting every single day like closer and closer to like what this really means for me. And in January, I got a massage done, and I've been talking a lot about just like how I want to feel more in my body, and I want to like explore my body to an extent of like what genuinely fuels me the best, like what feels good. Like Josie always talks about like when you're eating, are you actually tasting it? And what is it doing to your body? And just paying attention to what's happening, because this is the only body I get. I'm someone that has had plenty of injuries growing up and that have carried with me in my adult life. And so without taking that like time to pay attention, like it's completely taking your health, and this is me saying taking my health for granted. So I had this massage done. I felt like I was in a really good place of how I was working out and just like doing things for my body that felt good. And however, I hurt my back again, or just been bothering me. It's really tense. I'm okay. The weather's cold. Shoveling sucks for your back, and I've had to do that in Ohio lately. And then also, I probably did something stupid at one of my workout classes. So I'm sitting here frustrated with myself and with my body when all in all, it's like I fell into that trap of the misconception. It's like I'm working out, I'm waking up early, I'm eating pretty decently, but I also have like a really healthy relationship with food. And now that I've had to like peel back and be like, okay, you're going to listen to your body. So you're not going to go to your one workout class for a couple weeks. And I can feel my like mind getting triggered and being like, hey, should you be eating this? Hey, like look in the mirror. Is this how you want to look? Hey, should you weigh yourself? Hey. And it's like, oh my gosh. And in this journey, it's like learning how to stop those thoughts, or not necessarily to stop them, think them, be aware of them, acknowledge them, and then like again pay attention. How can you make this better?
hmm I think that is a really good thing to bring to the table, because we do get triggered, and we've talked a lot about body image. And one of the main things we can control, right, is what we put into our body. And if you feel like your physical activity is being hindered, then where do we go? We automatically go to like, oh, well, if I'm not burning as much, then I shouldn't be consuming as much. But and in reality, it's like, just make sure that you're eating stuff that's gonna actually help like heal you too. And so I want to bring this up just because when I was pregnant, I noticed that I had to scale back. And that might sound kind of stupid because like, okay, you're not going to be lifting like you were and whatnot. And a lot of the time I would opt for doing walks instead. And this was a really hard adjustment for me, but it actually set me up now where I feel like I listen to my body more, where it's like, ooh, I got really freaking sore from that workout, so maybe I'm gonna go like in 2 days or whatnot, but maybe I'll do more cardio based. Like, I just have learned how to navigate the system a little bit more to make sure I'm taking care of my body. Because if I hurt myself now, I'm like, shoot, like I have a 9-month-old that's basically running around everywhere. Like I don't want to be like grabbing my back or like limping along trying to grab her. So I guess that's one thing for me where I'm at is that I'm trying to tune in more to make it so it's a long goal. It's not like immediate, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think with this too, like what you just said, and I wrote a note in our notes before you started talking, is in listening to your body is knowing the difference between pain and discomfort, and knowing that you also shouldn't have discomfort. And
Mm-hmm.
that is like in your physical body and maybe like in your gut in terms of like gut health and foods that are making you not feel as good. Like
Mm-hmm.
discomfort isn't something you should live with either. So for anyone that doesn't know, I had back surgery 4 years ago, I think it is now. I have my L4 and 5 fused. So there's 4 screws and a rod that literally is holding my back together. So it's a serious surgery. And there's been so many times where I've hated my body and I've had to just like refigure out what works for my body and listening to that. And I've kind of had to check myself recently of being like, these seasons come and go, and you're at a place right now where you have to refigure it out again. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a piece that frustrates me because it took me like 3 years to just get where I am at, and now I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't have to readjust already. And so the thing is, someone asked me, it's like, well, what are you feeling right now? Like, is this painful? And I was like, no, like I'm not feeling pain,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm feeling discomfort in my body. My body feels more tense. I have more knots in my back. My like heels are going a little bit numb, which is like directly correlated to the nerves that go to my L4 and 5. And just because it's not painful, like living with the discomfort is almost sometimes more annoying than if something was just like straight up painful.
Mm-hmm.
But again, if you're not listening to your body and aware of like, okay, how can I make these things feel better? And I was like, oh, Alexa, maybe you need to start sleeping with a pillow between your legs again, like you used to, or prop your feet up, or I mean, there's a million things, but listen to that discomfort and know that like anything that doesn't feel good means your body is being like, hey, I need some help in here. Pay attention to me. I know
Mm-hmm.
you love me, but you're not acting like it right now.
Yeah, I just think that one point that a lot of us don't realize is when your body feels really, really good, it's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know how much pain I was in or how much discomfort I was in until I've reached this point. So there's obvious things that you can do, like that we're kind of talking about, is just like really like, I don't want to say stepping back, but just if for an example, if you do CrossFit 5 days a week, maybe take it back, add in like some yoga or stretching or just like getting your walk in on other days instead, or like really make sure you're drinking enough water. And that's going to help just flush your system and help with inflammation and that kind of thing as well. I know that sometimes, when I have to get up in the middle of the night to go, like if Tanner wakes up or whatnot, I notice that my feet are stiff. And that might sound kind of weird, but I'm kind of like, ooh, I didn't drink enough water today. Like I know that I didn't feel my body as well as I should have. And so if you can find those little things that your body's trying to say to you and be like, okay, let's try and troubleshoot this. Let's figure out what we can do to make this a experience that doesn't continue to happen.
hmm Yeah, I think that's interesting too. Of there's also a level of there's discomfort that you need to fix, and then there's also discomfort that you need to move through. And so what I mean by this is I was giving Josie this example of lately I've been trying to do more yoga because I can feel how tight my muscles are, which also is attached to my back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm taking like my spin classes still, but not taking my like lifting classes. And in the first couple times I've gone back to yoga, I'm frustrated with myself because I am so tight. And so my body feels like it's resisting this type of exercise because although by the end of class I feel better, like the process of class feels harder than me just like going and getting on the treadmill and the row machine and like lifting some weights. And it's like that type of resistance, I feel very out of my body, even though
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get in my body. But again, it's the thing of this discomfort means that I will get more comfortable if I stick around. But you have to differentiate between those two things too, which is
Yes.
sometimes confusing.
Totally. I think about yoga and the point where I like to call it like the stickiness, where you find that point of resistance and then you breathe through it enough to feel like you can go a little bit more. And I think that is such a cool thing because I think it can directly correlate to so many other parts of our lives, is to like lean into it enough where you feel it. It kind of is uncomfortable, but if you breathe through it, if you take your time through it, then you can expand. And that's basically what we're doing with yoga is it's stretching and pushing you to a new limit that you didn't know before. And so I honestly think that it is so taken for granted for is like stretching and mobility and making sure that you're tuning in on those simple things. And they almost seem so simple that we don't want to do them, right? Like if we're not sweating, if we're not really getting after it within a workout, did we even work out? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing too. This is also another like yoga thing I talk about is if you're someone though that feels like I need to sweat to like mentally feel like I got something
Mhm.
done, find a hot class or find a gym that has like a sauna that you can sit in after your workout. Cause I am someone that's like that. I know that it's not true, but it's like,
Mhm.
again, then how can you trick your mind to just like getting that little bit of a fix in that, oh, now this means that like I have completed the thing. And so for me too, part of that heat, like it's not always just like an excuse, y'all. For me, if or for someone that has like an injury, heat does help where you don't feel like you need to stretch as long
Mhm.
just as a pre-class or a pre-workout. For me, having a room that genuinely feels hot and
Mhm.
I sweat almost instantly just stepping into the room where you can feel the humidity or finishing a workout in the sauna. Like I said, which that is something I do need to do is find a gym, cancel my Planet Fitness and find a gym with the sauna so I can go sit
Yeah.
there. Um, that's not an excuse. That's a genuine, this is better for my body. And that is me taking care of my body.
Mhm.
So again, I mean, I'm beating a dead horse right now, just saying, again, listen to your body, but listen to your fucking body.
Totally. I mean, we're smarter. Like our bodies are smarter than you even know. Is smarter a word? Like you, yes, you are smarter
Like,
than
of
you.
course that's the word.
It sounds weird. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, wait, I don't like that. But you are more like your body does so much. It knows so much. It knows exactly what you need and it's trying to give you these little cues. And so if you can just take a moment and be like, okay, I feel like this might help this, then it'll make life so much more enjoyable in the skin that you have, like in your body, in your muscles, in your mind, all the things. Because I don't know, like if you have like your neck's out or something like that, I don't know how you guys feel, but I mean, it messes my whole day up.
Yeah, because work is uncomfortable. Playing with your kids or your nephews, like me, like that is uncomfortable. Going to bed at night is uncomfortable. So like this is the perfect segue of like, how do you want your quality of life to be? And
Hmm.
then like what do you need to do for your body to have that best quality of life while still doing things that are pushing you and making you feel good and exercising your body and your mind and your heart. But if you're not like paying attention to what's important and like how moving your body in your specific life and your human experience is important, then this is going to continue to happen where you're needing to take like these long pauses off of things. Like if you don't want to take a long pause off something, then pay attention to how you don't have to do that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
it's
It's
just
preventative. It's like Botox, guys. It's preventative. I don't, side note, I don't do it, but I'm like thinking about it.
I wouldn't mind some of that. Um, for sure. But it's a total preventative thing. Look at what's most important in your life and then address and change accordingly or continue on the path that you're continuing on if you're feeling good. Don't get frustrated with yourself like me if
Mhm.
you need to take a pause, if you do need to take a pause, even preventative stuff. But like truly know your body, the one you are in every single day for your entire life. This is the only body you get.
Mhm.
At any time you have to fix something with surgery, your body is not going to be the same.
Mhm.
Point blank, plain and simple. So take care of what you have because it's the only fucking one you have,
Yeah,
and then have the best quality of life that you can with that body and love it. Love
totally.
your body.
Yes. I want to just like share a quick story as far as an injury that I had. So I've only broken one bone and it was my rib, but I have torn my calf muscle.
Mm.
And it was the worst pain I have ever felt. And I did it you guys, I'm very competitive. I'm a very competitive person.
Mm.
Um,
No.
yes. And I was in a class and it was like burpee pull-ups with wind sprints. Okay. So it was a lot of impact on my calves and jumping and moving, right? So there's this very, very strong man that is a very good athlete that I was next to. And I was like, I'm going to compete. I'm going to compete. And you guys, I was competing. I was freaking kicking ass. But I turned the corner like to do another wind sprint on a Sweet 16. And I literally thought somebody took a barbell and like smacked the back of my leg. And instantly stopped and I was like, I just tore my Achilles. I just tore my freaking Achilles. I did not. I tore my calf muscle. So right in my soleus is where I tore it. And the recovery was extremely humbling. Like being able to jump or do anything was very, very hard. And it took me like 6 months to actually go to one of my really good friends, Jamie. And she does dry needling. And she poked the needles into my calf and she goes, Josie, when you do this method of physical therapy, your muscles should feel like butter. And she goes, yours feels like a nasty cube steak, like, like tough and just gross. She was like, you have got to spend more time on recovering this injury. And so this is something like coming from me who is in this industry, I still was neglecting my muscle in the long run and in my leg, and that's hindering any progress that I could like. I mean, I was still competing, you guys, because I'm competitive. But I would have been a better athlete if I would have taken the right precautions for or in the right recovery methods. So this is just a little thing where if you have had an injury, go to somebody and see if you can get some relief that way and create an action plan to actually be able to help your body get through it.
Yeah. And know that like it doesn't go away just because you've recovered. Like that's like the humbling experience I'm currently having of like people now are like, hey, you should go see this person. And I'm like, I'm fine. I had my surgery forever ago. I know the things to do. It's like, are you doing them? No, because you wouldn't be feeling this pain if you were doing them, Alexa. And then it's like, oh, but then I'm gonna have to pay it. I'm gonna accept my insurance again. This is your only body. Your
Mm-hmm.
health matters. Don't take it for granted. It also only does us so good of like, sure, vent about it, but like also just change the habit.
100%. So I think that is just a really, really important message that we've both personally had had to listen to within ourselves. And we just want you to know that it is your only body and you need to take care of it now, or you're going to have to be really, really dealing with a lot of shit in the future.
Yeah. So that's no fun. No fun, you guys.
No fun.
So fun. We hope you have the best day ever. We hope you listen to your body and take inventory on what's going on and that you feel good and you love you and you look in the freaking mirror and you say, body, I fucking love you.
I fucking love you. Drink your water, eat good food, move your body in a
And drink your
nice
green
way.
juice from Organifi.
Drink your juice.
Well,